Hi everyone, it's Missy, and I'm canning a batch of strawberry vinaigrette dressing. This is a recipe from the Ball Canning website, and I'll link it in the description below. What you want to do is start off with 5 quarts of strawberries. You just want to wash them and hull them, so you just leave them whole, and cut off any bad spots that you may find. And then you add them into a large stainless steel pot. And then you also add 1 quart of white distilled vinegar. Just going to pour that into the container. And then what I'm going to do is cover this with plastic wrap and let it sit in a cold, dark place overnight. And then we'll come back in the morning and we are going to be ready to can it. So after the strawberries have fermented overnight, we're just going to take the plastic wrap off, and then we're just going to strain the fruit from the vinegar. So first I'm going to put it in a larger whole strainer to get the majority of the pulp out of the juice, and then I'll put it through a dampened jelly bag. So once I have drained the liquid from the majority of the pulp, I just am taking the strainer up. And you can see it should be a nice bright red color. Let's see if I can move this out. Still dripping a little bit, but I'm going to move it to another pot. And then we want to have this as clear as possible. You could tell that there's still some pulp in there, so that's where I use the jelly bag. And when I put it through the jelly bag, I also want to measure it because we're going to add an equal amount of sugar to an equal amount of this strawberry vinegar. So I already had 4 cups of juice measured, and I'm going to add the rest of this juice that I have to see how much I get. And it looks like I have another ½ cup, so I'm going to be adding 4½ cups of sugar then to the vinegar that I have in a stainless steel pot. I also have over here 6 half-pint jars that are heating because this recipe said it can make up to 6 half-pint jars. And then I also have my lids heating in the back, so I can get ready to start canning. But I'm going to measure out the sugar, and then we're going to dissolve it in this mixture on a medium heat. So you want to heat this mixture up so that way it comes to just up to a boil, and then it'll be ready to can. And we may have to skim some foam with this, we'll see. But I'm just going to dissolve my sugar and bring it up to a boil. Okay, so I brought it up just to a boil. I actually turned the heat off, and it's still on the burner though. But you can hear it. You can't see the bubbles, but you can hear it. And to me, that's what it means when they say bring it up to just a boil. I don't know. I hope that's right. But I think it'd be hot enough to can, so I'm just going to skim the foam, and then we're going to start filling up the jars. You're going to see a little bit of foam while I pour the vinaigrette into the jars, simply because I was having a hard time skimming all the foam off of the surface. But after I canned it, you didn't see any foam left in the jars. So I'm going to tell you, don't be too concerned if you see a little bit of foam or bubbles or fizzing that you see on my jar as I'm pouring the juice in. You're going to want to pour enough of the juice in so that way there's a 1/4 inch headspace, and you're just going to have to keep adjusting it as you go. I did have enough liquid left over that it made about 7½ jars. So I would also recommend putting an extra jar or 2 in your canner so you're ready to go. Make sure you have a hot jar, a hot liquid, and hot canner. You know, keep everything hot, so just do 1 jar at a time. But all I'm doing is using a wooden skewer to make sure that all the bubbles are out of the jar before I top it off. I'm just checking my measurement with that ball tool. And just keep adding a little as you go. And then make sure you wipe the rim off very well. This stuff is really sticky, and you want to make sure that that lid has a good seal to the jar. So I wiped it off well, centered the lid over the jar, and then I screwed my band on so it was fingertip tight, and then I gave it one last tug to ensure that it was holding properly. And then I'm just putting the jar into the canner and grabbing another one. And once you have all your jars filled, you're going to process for 10 minutes. Turn off the canner and then wait 5 minutes before you take the jars out of the canner to prevent siphoning. This is what they look like when they're done. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.